Ho, what's up, Solutionaries? Maj Toure here. Welcome you all to the Maj Toure Show. Come on in, come on in. Come one, come all. Pause. It's Monday. Happy to see you guys. Hope everybody had an amazing 4th of July weekend with family. I hope you worked out. I hope you had good food, tons of protein. Hope you ate healthy. Hope you stuck to your motherfucking goals. I don't want none of y'all to think that for 1 second you're going to come on my show and you think that I'm going to tell you that it's cool to work towards against your goals by eating a gang of bullshit just because it's a so-called holiday. I'm sorry, that ain't going to be the place. Jay Stay Driving says, why is there only 2 people in here? Now, that's interesting. It's interesting, ain't it? Now it's 3. Comment, y'all know the routine. Comment, let me know where y'all from. The reason why there's only 2 people in here is because we got to get our game up. We got to step our game up. We got folks, a bunch of folks watching from X. Jay Stay Driven, you watching from YouTube, right? But most people in here are watching from X. If you're watching from X, comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know, meaning what city. Repost. Right? Repost. We can't argue about the anti-gunners, the anti-freedom agenda if we don't highlight the people doing the actual work. The people that are actually like our work, that are talking about things that are important, that's leaving us with solutions, that's talking about things that's important. If we don't support those people go away. Those people cannot withstand the onslaught of a well-funded, well-organized situation. So I'm saying that to say, obviously, you guys know the work that we do at BGM, the Solutionary Center, free classes, firearms training, Second Amendment work, conflict resolution, all of that stuff. But we'd love to talk to you on the show, the Maj Toure Show. I love to talk to y'all about politics, pop culture, and everything that's going on in the world. But we got to always tie that back into solutions. So again, let me know where you're from. Brett, I appreciate that in Pittsburgh, PA. Brett also reposted this stream. He's watching from X. Weeb Pillar says, let me guess. The FBI is protecting pedos. There's Republicans in the Epstein list there. Probably. Darth Hideous on X reposted it. Thank you, guys. Listen, I'm going to ask y'all to fundraise towards our work, okay? Every day when we do the show, Monday through Friday, same time, same channel, okay? We're streaming right now to Facebook. We're streaming to X. And we are streaming to YouTube, obviously. Now, I want to say this. Our work is Second Amendment work, and we are, by August, we need to have enough funds to buy our building. So we're going to be fundraising throughout. We try every show to get everybody to 10 people to give $20, which is $200. That's for the super chats. Now, here's the thing. If you got a small business, if you know somebody doing some good work, if whatever, all of those things, I want you to put, if it's your small business, put the name of that company, put the name of your company, put your social media, their social media, give them a shout out. So I put all of the super chats up on the screen. I give y'all the shout out, and that's how we do. We got to keep this work going. And if you get some value from this, I'm going to ask you all to go to givesendgo.com/solutionary. It's right there under my face. That little square right there, my name, givesendgo.com/solutionary. If you're watching this on X, above you, my pinned post, that's the way you can hit the link to support the work. Now, we're going to talk about this tonight. Super Weapon says Eric July's Twitter post on this Epstein situation was also spot on. Let me be clear. It almost is impossible, and I'm not saying this as a diss to Eric. Eric's the homie. It's almost impossible to not be spot on about this Epstein situation. I've been talking about this on the different lives. I've been trying my best to make sure I'm engaging with y'all so much more on the streams. Technically, I'm a streamer. I'm streaming if I'm going live more. All right? Again, everybody's coming in, hit the like button. YouTube, everywhere. Hit the like button. If you're watching it on X, just hit the repost button. Do a quote post. Hey, yo, I'm watching this. Tap in. Da-da-da-da-da. We need your help. Okay? Now, this Epstein situation is such a clusterfuck. It's so bad that the Trump supporters that are usually dyed in the wool like I'm riding with Trump, okay? Big Rob, what's up? Ain't seen you in a minute, brother. Porter Gang, watching from Delaware. If this doesn't show people that all government hates us, right, I don't know what is. Keimer Shadow, what's up? Um, this has been an absolute, like, trashy representation of representative government to the extent that I've damn near never seen the likes of. We have years long, maybe a decade at this point, because I know the fighting of the case has been at least 4 years. But meaning talking about the case, before his death, there were people literally saying Epstein's going to kill himself. Epstein did not kill himself before he killed himself, and they were saying it in like a tongue-in-cheek way. Okay. Now, these contradictions, this timeline, this storyline was already so vivid and so like wow that there's almost no way to deny or do what the federal government, the FBI, just did. What the FBI just did was say, we have researched ourselves, investigated ourselves, and we found no wrongdoing. We looked in all of the cabinets, literally. They said that in the post. They were like, we looked in all of the locked drawers, we looked in this, we looked in that. And yeah, he killed himself. And yeah, there's no client list. And I've been talking about this all day in the other two streams that I did. Guys, if you don't follow me on X, if you're watching on YouTube, follow me on X, follow me on Facebook. It's more live on X. For some reason, this YouTube channel, right? It's not as, it's not as many of y'all on here. It's 11. It's one person watching on Facebook and all of that. But anyway, follow me on X because I'm more prone to the X page. Anyway, there was so much truth that had already slipped out over the years that when the FBI turned around and said he didn't kill himself, he did kill himself, there's no client list. That is baffling. There is somebody in jail right now, Ghislaine Maxwell, allegedly in jail, because I don't believe that at this point, right? There's somebody in jail for 20 years for assisting Jeffrey Epstein with selling people, but there's no client list. So if there's no client list and you prove that Ghislaine Maxwell helped Jeffrey Epstein, how is Ghislaine Maxwell in jail? There's no clients, okay? This is almost, as I alluded to earlier, it's impossible to not get this spot on because the story has been going on for so long, and there's so many people that have come forth and talked about things, and there's been so much speculation and so much introspection and so much investigation into the story that when the FBI shows up and just says, we researched and we found nothing, okay? Everybody, Super Weapons with the $5 super chat, appreciate you. Said also I DM'd you on Twitter on the marketing. Oh, that's who this is. Okay, what's up, brother? What's up? Appreciate that. Hey, let's get 5 folks to match Super Weapons with that $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Big Rob says, how are there victims if there were no clients? This is a legitimate question. There's no clients. How were there victims? She was just like, I'm going to sell you to somebody. You better stay right here. Epstein was like, I'm going to sell you to somebody. You better stay right here and just don't move. When I get a buyer, I'm going to sell you. And that's what they went to jail for. It's so insane that the dyed-in-the-wool Trump supporters are going absolutely not. Now, they're not blaming it on Trump. The scapegoat right now is Pam Bondi. She's the seemingly scapegoat. I'm not going to do that, though. That position was given to her by Trump. It is. Mahagan says, this is a great get-out-of-jail-free card for Ghislaine. If I was her lawyers, yesterday, we filing that paperwork. Yesterday. But these dyed-in-the-wool Trump supporters are trying to make the scapegoat and deflect a little bit. I saw big head-ass Charlie Kirk talking about that conservatives need to focus on Islam taking over the West. Not maxing out the spending, not massive money printing, not the infrastructure problems, not any of that shit. Not the big, beautiful bill. None of that. It is the Islam people. So the pundits and the influencers are trying to redirect. But some people are just like, absolutely not. Pam Bondi got that job. These were appointees. They were selected, not elected, by Donald Trump. And hand-selecting people that are just going to be absolute loyally to you, Trump, or even the Republican Party or whatever, means that they're not accountable to the job. They're not accountable to justice, and they're not accountable to the American people. They might say that shit. They might say, we're here to find justice. The American people, da-da-da. We're going to protect the victims, da-da-da-da. All of that shit is cap. Every single section of that is cap. That is there specifically designed. That's the PR statement. Okay? Let's read a little bit of this. The U.S. Justice Department finds no Epstein client list. The Department of Justice and FBI have concluded the sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, stop. How is he a sex offender if there's no clients? He wasn't shown to be the person. Are they saying that he was the person doing it? And maybe so. Who knows? But there's no list. Anyway, did not have a so-called client list that could implicate high-profile associates and that he did take his own life, contradicting long-held conspiracy theories. That's what media do. Media say it's a theory. It's not a theory. And the word conspiracy isn't a bad thing. If a few or more people conspire to do a thing, there is a conspiracy. They conspire to do a thing. Okay? Contradicting long-held conspiracy theories about the infamous case. And that's what I was saying as it relates to, it's been so widespread, pause, that so many people have looked into this that when they make this 180 this way, nobody's buying it. Give me something in the chat if you believe it. If you really believe that, comment. Somebody give me a comment. If you really believe that he genuinely didn't kill himself, and I want you to tell me why. Communicate. Type it out. He genuinely killed himself. This is all a crazy, kooky conspiracy theory, and there's no client list. Tell me if you think that. I want to hear from that person, because that person has an interesting perspective that I'm just genuinely not finding across the social media landscape. I just want to hear it. I just want to hear somebody tell me that. Okay? While campaigning last year, President Donald Trump promised to release files relating to the disgraced financier. Donald Trump literally said, I see what they want, I'm going to say what they want, then when I get in, I'm going to do the exact opposite. Donald Trump and this administration and this Republican-led Congress, because they got the House, the Senate, and the executive, right? They have single-handedly fucked the midterms up. The Democrats was getting their asses whipped. They were reeling. They had nothing. They had nothing. Nobody's buying AOC. She getting fat and chunky, right? She's not even a hot Latina no more, right? Hakeem Jeffries is a value budget Barack Obama. I ever tell you about the time I testified in Congress and Hakeem Jeffries tried to fucking play me? Y'all ever see that story? Y'all ain't see that. Hakeem Jeffries tried to play me when I was testifying in Congress on some pro-gun shit. But anyway, I've done a lot. My point is here. I've done a lot. A lot of y'all don't know because y'all just new to the space. Hakeem Jeffries tried to play me. He was like, you sell merchandise on your website? And I was like, yes. And he said, and one of those says, make the hood great again. What does that mean? And I broke it down, and he didn't expect me to hit him with that. Then he yielded his time. I bust his ass. He didn't want to smoke with me. But anyway, that happened. Low budget Barack Obama, Hakeem Jeffries, is up there trying to filibuster for however many hours and talk that shit. They didn't have nothing. The Democrats had nothing. The Republicans got the House, the Senate, and the executive branch. It was a fucking layup. And then they not only do this, before we even get to this, they, Trump and Republicans and the conservatives that have been hired by Influenceable, which is a PR firm that issues talking points to popular conservative pundits, okay? Even before that, they hired those folks to go after the actual conservative in Congress, Thomas Massey and Rand Paul from the great state of Kentucky. So the actual conservatives that give you principles, that give you liberty-based things, that give you all of this type of shit, y'all went after that person. Y'all went after that person, okay? This is before this. Now, then you go to big, beautiful bill. You give, I'm telling you, the leftists is reeling on the fucking, they rocky. Fucking, we beating the shit out of them. We Clubber Lang this time, right? Beating the shit out of them. They reeling. Then you give them some light by don't going the big, beautiful bill. While you do that, Thomas Massey says this is the type of spending that we don't really need. Then y'all give him some more light because y'all then go, Thomas Massey isn't MAGA. The one principled dude. Y'all giving the Democrats light. Then they get their second win. Then instead of you getting back on their ass like Mike Tyson after a knockout, getting right back on his opponent in the 80s, then y'all go and say this dumb shit. And we have history of Kash Patel, of Bongino, of everybody that's all Trump appointees saying the exact opposite over time. The files are right on my desk. Truckloads of the files right on my desk. Oh, it's no files. Okay? While campaigning last year, President Donald Trump promised to release files relating to the disgraced financier. So Trump says one thing and does another, and that is the calling card of this administration, this second term. And it's disgusting. I had so much better. I didn't have high hopes, but I had at least higher hopes than this bullshit. But since he returned into office in January, some of his supporters have grown frustrated with the administration's handling of the case and for failing to deliver new revelations. The issue reemerged earlier this year amid a public spat between Trump and his former advisor, Elon Musk. Okay? Epstein died in a New York prison cell in 2019 as he awaited trial on sex trafficking charges. His death was more than a decade after his conviction for soliciting prostitution from a minor, okay, for which he was a registered sex offender. So that's where he's the offender. Okay, I get you. According to a 2-page Department of Justice and FBI memo, investigators found no incriminating list of clients and no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals. Real pause real quick, guys. Listen, if you're getting some value from the show, if you're watching, y'all know the routine. If you're watching, how many of y'all is on X watching? It's 279 y'all watching on X. That means I should have 279 reposts. Okay, guys? Reposting to spread the message about the work and the things that we talk about to lean into solutions cost you nothing, but it helps us. Okay? If you're on X, I can see when you repost. We should get 280 of y'all in here now. We should have 250. I'll give some of y'all a break because you might not be by your phone, right? Repost, guys. Don't be a hoe. Share the show. That's what my guys Andy, Fasella, and DJ say, and I love it. Share the space all over the place, okay? So I'm going to ask you guys to do that, as well as get some value from the show tonight. We got 3 weeks to raise $74,000 and buy our building, or our work at the Solutionary Center has to come to an end, okay? I love this job. I love doing the work. I'm going to keep repeating it. I love it. I want to continue to work for y'all, but we can't do that if y'all just don't want it. So donate towards the work. You get some value. Boom, boom, boom. That's 2 ways that you can help. One, you can just repost. Cost you nothing to do so. Just repost. Okay? That's 1. 2, donate. It's my pinned post. If most of y'all are watching on X, it's my pinned post up there. Okay? Now, Rob just said what I was thinking. The right was winning so big and easily, I knew it was too good and the okie doke was coming. All 3 branches and hardly anything for the Second Amendment. That's where we at with it. That's where we at with it. So when I hear Ricky Smiley, I put up a video today about Ricky Smiley saying Trump just going to defy federal orders and you know, the whole fucking black entertainers that's like not conservative, that's liberals, that's like they're going to put us back in chains. Ricky Smiley said some stupid shit like that today. And I'm thinking like, bro, he couldn't even get Second Amendment legislation in this bill and they got the House, the Senate, and the executive branch. Give me the fucking break. But anyway. Investigators found no incriminating list of clients and no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals. Investigators also released footage they say supports the medical examiner's conclusion that Epstein died by suicide while being held at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York. Give me a show of hands, comment or like or thumbs up or something if you believe any of that shit while I sip my half a gallon of this. If you believe that, I got a bridge in Philly to sell you. Brandon says, politicians can kick rocks. I see you, Brandon. Mahagan says, no, I don't believe it. Guys, your government does not give a fuck about you. Now, let's see how this plays. Let's play it out several ways, y'all. Let's play it out several ways. 1, okay. The clearly the fucking list exists, and it's a blackmail list. Okay? Pause. My man Bobby says, I hit the live and mouthful. Pause. Clearly there's a list. They're not going to say it's a list. Why? Because we want to use the list. Okay? I get to use the list if I find the list and I go, hey, bro, you thought you was home free? Oh, no. We need you to do this right here. We need you to do that right here. We need you to do X, Y, and Z. Okay? These things exist, and your government would leverage that for their purposes, which tells you this state is not about, meaning the government, the state, is not about justice. Let me tie that back into something, example in the similarity that I made earlier. Okay, listen. We all saw what Diddy did to Cassie in the hotel. It was wrong. It was absolutely wild shit. The feds had access to that before her statute of limitations. Mohagan said somebody, because Diddy paid it off to not go, and somebody gave Cassie another copy. That's one play. Either way, right? I think that the feds had this for whenever. Because when you camera footage in them hard drives, after 30, 90 days, if don't nothing happen, they record over it. Okay? So they extracted it, held on to it. The feds would hold on to something like that and say, we're not going to give that to local and state authorities because we want to chase after Diddy. We ain't fucking with no domestic shit. So we don't want to give this away, tip his hat that we onto him or we investigating him, right? And then, you feel what I'm saying? Because it's not about justice. It's about leverage. So when they talk this leverage, I'm going to clean the FBI up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. They are 1,000% bullshitting. It's not even a question. It's not a question in my mind. And right now, I know anybody with a half of a brain knows like, nah, there's definitely a list. But it's not what you know. It's what you can prove. And they know if they control all of the leverage, all of the information, okay, they know that you won't be able to prove it. And they also know that you ain't going to bust your gun, even though you see how just non-justice based they are. Okay? We want to benefit from the work that Epstein put in with his ties to other agencies, That's what it looks like to me. And I want to hear from y'all if you feel differently. Please jump in the chat. Let me know, chat. What's going on? I promise you, I'll go easy on you if you take a different position than what I'm saying. Because I want to hear from you because you far out. It's you just out there. But you might tell me something that's you mean. Okay? To Bobby's point, once the list out there, it's out there. Can't take it back. It's out there. You got to arrest everybody. Whatever business dealings they got, that gets slaughtered. That gets knocked off. And you can't use it anymore. People will try to talk shit about you. Just let them. Just let them. Just let them talk shit. After they talk shit, it's nothing to fuck that they could do. It's nothing. Most people will talk shit when they're upset, as opposed to stopping. And I welcome a motherfucker to talk shit about me because keep talking. Every time they bring out the paperwork on me for my false accusations, I haven't got some shit talked about me in a while. I want somebody to bring up my false accusations case again because I seem to be fundraising stronger when people are telling me that I ain't shit. Okay? So my point though is when that's presented and it's out there, it actually helps me. Okay? So from their perspective, the fear of embarrassment and leveraging the fear of the person that we got something on, they leverage that. If they were genuinely about justice for the victims, A, when the feds had that information about Cassie, they would have handed off to local authorities. B, they wouldn't be lying to everybody in America right now saying the exact opposite of what they have said for years. And I don't mean like they just started talking about it recently and they ignored it for years. No, back in the day. I'm talking about very recently, people like Pam Bondi saying, I got all the files on my desk. And then Dan Bongino saying, there's nothing there. Then them saying, oh, the footage from the jail cell isn't active. But then y'all come up with footage that don't even look like the fucking jail. This More than anything, y'all, I want y'all to take from this, because we solutionaries. Everybody come and hit the like button. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. Okay? Everybody hit the like button. More so than anything right here, y'all. Okay? When we have these discussions on the Maj 2 ratio, the discussions tie about perspective for sure, and we have an interesting dialogue. However, this always needs to tie into what you can learn from it and do. The biggest lesson here is the government doesn't fucking like you. They don't like you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about justice. They give a fuck about, we are the politicians. We will leverage whatever we can to benefit our political interests. That is it. It's a big club and we ain't in it. That's why we got to make our own clubs. Fuck them. These people are morons. Anybody that would even know that these Frazzle Drip, Pizzagate, a drink, like we could go QAnon far or we could stay right here. Whichever way y'all want to go with it. The Hunter Biden laptop. Oh, it doesn't exist. It's Russian disinformation. Well, it may exist. Oh, well, one of our guys had it, but he don't know where it's at. Oh, let's give him a pardon. Okay? They don't give a fuck about you. And I'm telling you that in the sense of, just listen to this. Remember this when it's coming to make decisions. When you got to make a financial decision, right? If you have the option to say, I'll give you all a perfect example. Okay? I want you to remember this. They don't give a fuck about you, and they don't care if you live or die if you cannot be used. Okay? In 2020, I had the opportunity to buy a Bentley or buy an RV. I bought an RV because all I could think about was I have to go and inform people I'm still going to do classes during this whole COVID bullshit. And I want to be able to go and be in cities for longer periods of time and not have to pay $200, $300, $100, $150 per night for a hotel. So I made a decision based on I need more people to be Second Amendment supportive. I need more people in this fight. And since that's the case, instead of me getting the Bentley, I got the RV for half of what the Bentley would cost. I made a decision in thinking about the people are not very strong and Second Amendment supportive in certain areas and urban centers. So I made a decision, should I help those people that are currently relying or believe that they should rely on government? Or should I just buy the Bentley? Now, to Bobby's point, pulling up in the Bentley to all of the classes would have been fucking lit. It would have. It just would have. Right? But then let's look at this. How do I show up with a Bentley and I'm fundraising? A $250,000 car. It just don't look right. Now, it doesn't matter if, Maj, you might have other things going on. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Even that is a thought process. If you get this car, even though you paid for it with other money, not the fundraising money, how does that look to the brand, to what you're doing, to the people? Do you lose the people's trust? And if you lose the people's trust, they're more than likely not going to come to the classes, not going to promote the classes. Then less people that need the work, that would be relying on government for their protection, outsourcing their protection, you won't be able to reach as many people. I want to tell y'all that line is because it's very important. Think about this when you're making decisions. When you decide to say, okay, I hit the lottery for 30 racks, whatever, right? Should I strengthen my home, maybe put $10,000 or $15,000 in savings and invest that, and then put maybe something in my home, maybe grow a garden, maybe do this, maybe do that, invest in my health, da-da-da-da. Or do I have a fun weekend in Miami? Maybe a weekend, because Miami's expensive. 30 grand, I don't know how that far that's going to get you if you're going to strip clubs and how many bottles you're buying. So my point in saying that is this. Every time when you think about that, okay, when that situation happens, think about it. If I make this move, is it strengthening me so I'm less dependent on the fucking government? If this move puts me further away from being more independent and more reliant on government, maybe I should do the other thing. Because this right here, more than anything, The level of audacity to say, we going to put the files out. We going to definitely do it. We going to definitely do it. I got them on my desk. And these are all Trump appointees. It would be different if some of them was Democrat and they was holding on to it because they didn't want Trump to get the W for it, right? I would understand that. But these are all Trump appointees, okay? Some of that, a big chunk of that responsibility lays at his feet. Now, that's before we move on. That is before. I ain't even add this back into the mix. Remember a couple of weeks ago? The public spat between Elon and Trump. And Elon said what? What'd he say? Publicly. He said, the reason why the fucking Epstein files ain't coming out is because Donald Trump is on them. I'm not ignoring that. You don't just get to say. Remember, Kevin Hart was like, wait a minute. We're not just going, you don't just get to say that shit and we just, I believe him. Now, let me be clear. Let me tell you why I say I believe him. I do think Trump is on the flight lists. I don't think Trump was in there knocking down like underage girls. I don't believe that. I believe at certain points when he was homies with Epstein, they got on a plane. They might have even went to the island. I'm not mad at that. Going to the island itself doesn't necessarily mean you were raping or sleeping with underage people. It doesn't mean that. But it does look bad if you haven't already explained that and went, hey, every time somebody try to throw the accusation to me, I get right on top. Hey, here go the paperwork right here. Bop, 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 bop. Let's get it fucking cracking. You can't use shit over my head. I have been late on bills. I am not a super rich man. I have done things in my past, aggressive things towards other people. I've been very upfront about that shit. I'm just not a fake ass person pretending like I'm fucking perfect. And that's very freeing. It's very freeing. Okay? So some of those people might have went and they like, I know I ain't do nothing, but this is what Bobby says. I only think it's cap because if it was a list and Trump's name was on it, it would have been common knowledge by the time the printer was done. Big Rob says, when it comes to cash, it's hard to trust the guy who's looking at the past and the future simultaneously. Listen, I think that the Uni Party and those people that would have used it against Trump if his name was on it and they had access to it, they exposed themselves. It's mutually assured destruction. And now, I don't think that every single person that's on that joint was up there doing wild shit. But I think now it's become so stigmatized that they like, I can't. So whoever get rid of the list, shit, I don't like that motherfucker, but my name on the list too. The overall lesson here, guys, is I'm going to keep harping on this for the duration of tonight's show. The overall lesson here is they don't give a fuck about you. You have to start to wean yourself off of dependence of this government. That's just what it is. You have to strengthen the local infrastructure, especially if you live in a small town, a small community, right? Establish a solid relationship with your sheriff, with the deputies. You know what I mean? Generate resources and help your neighbors out. You have to do things to try to make your small community very, very powerful and self-sufficient, okay? You live in a rural area, definitely build with your neighbors. Go to them farmers markets. Go support the local businesses. Be involved in those city planning meetings, those budget meetings, all of those different things, because you guys can become so much more self-sufficient that you say no thank you to the feds. The feds have a grip on shit because they print the money, they get the money, they dole it out when needed. But if states, governors, started to say, nah, we're not doing that. We don't need your federal funds. We good over here, right? And small communities and all across the country that becomes the culture, people wouldn't be so afraid of the feds. This was not how the design of America was supposed to be, where the local areas and states were supposed to be so hell-bent and dependent on the federal government. They took it too far with the federalist shit. Kevin Shanley, thank you so much for that repost, brother, on X. I told y'all, I said, look, it's however many people. Listen, to all of the new people, it's 416 of y'all watching on X. Everybody on X, just hit the repost button. It's free. What y'all got? What beef y'all got with me that y'all just can't repost the joint? What's going on? Don't cost y'all nothing. Just repost it. Just repost it. Okay, let's read a little bit more. Investigators also released footage they say supports the medical examiner's conclusion that Epstein died by suicide while being held at Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York. Some conspiracy theorists, here we go again with that. Some conspiracy theorists have suggested that Epstein was murdered to stop him from implicating government officials, celebrities, and other business tycoons who were involved in his crimes. FBI Director Kash Patel and his deputy Dan Bongino had previously questioned the official narrative regarding Epstein's death. Although since joining the Trump administration, both have acknowledged that Epstein took his own life. Come on, man. That's like, it's almost too, and I get it, y'all. I hear it. Remember some of this shit? Let me argue against my own point since some of y'all scared to do it, right? Y'all scared, and I know why y'all, because y'all don't want to get chopped up. I get it, right? But let me argue against it. Remember during COVID, right, when the QAnon people were saying they're digging tunnels and there's sex trafficking rings that are going to be brought to military tribunals and all of that type of shit. Y'all remember that? So I get why there's an argument to be made that it's a conspiracy theory, because them guys went really left with it. They was talking about not the Jews in tunnels, right? Not like the beds and shit like that, right? Because that was wild too. But they were saying like they was digging these tunnels to have these military tribunals and take certain people and like Ellen DeGeneres and Tom Hanks was like hiding, and they was really in Greece, and they was in places where there was no extradition. They was saying all of this shit, and I just was like, bro, if you don't get the fuck out of here. What up, Corey? I was like, bro, if you don't get the fuck out of here, that's bullshit, right? But they really was on that. They really was like, yo, this is really what's happening. My man Oski on Instagram was into that. And I was like, bro, I don't believe none of this shit, right? So there's an argument to be made that people went, and so people could fall for that. This is a conspiracy theory thing, okay? But I don't think so. I would only believe that conspiracy theory thing if there wasn't so much time of people going this, and this, and connecting the dots. And if it wasn't the same exact people that before they were in office was like, I'm going after that, and I know he did some bad things. Trump said it on an interview years ago when he was like, Epstein guy, he's got some problems. He's got some problems coming up in the future. He said it. Okay? The memo adds that investigators did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. Who was Jeffrey Epstein? The memo was met with disbelief from supporters of Trump and his Make America Great Again movement. In an X post, the right-wing commentator Rogan O'Handley called it a shameful cover-up protect the most heinous elites. Some have claimed the conclusions reached in the memo contradict statements from Attorney General Pam Bondi in a Fox News interview that aired in February. It does contradict. It's not some of us believe it. It does. Okay? The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. What will that really happen? Bondi was asked on Fox, to which she replied, it's sitting on my desk right now to review. She damn sure 100% said that shit. Matter of fact, if you think I'm lying, here go the goddamn video right here. I'm not capping. Here we go.
List of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with you.
Well, we'll check back with you. They checked back and it was nothing. They checked back and it was absolutely nothing. allegedly. His woman in prison says he killed himself. The whole suicide thing was almost too perfect. It's some movie stuff. It is. Corey with the dub. Appreciate you, brother. Bobby says, hold on, let me get Corey joint real quick. Hold up. Where that shit at? There you go. Boom. Corey with the $20 super chat. We need, what, 9 more people? 9 more people at the $20 for the super chat. Thank you for that, brother. All of that goes towards the work. I want to appreciate you for that. Bobby says, where Bobby join at? He says, I'll play devil's advocate. She was speaking on the file, not a list. Nah, she said client list. She said the phrase. Let's run it back. Let's run it back real quick. Let me find it again real quick. The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Listen. She's a liar. She's a liar. It's not even like it's not a question. It's not a question. She's a liar. She is a liar. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I mean, but did we, who really thought that shit was actually going to come out? Okay. All right, hold up. Yeah, Bobby, yeah, no. She was talking about the list. He said the list. This the overall thing that I want everybody to land on before we start wrapping up, y'all. This is what's real about this. And this is what I want everybody to take from this. First, before I get to that, I want everybody to support the work. Guys, we have 1 month, less than a month, to buy our building. All of your support is needed. I think we need 763 more $100 donors. If you can give at the $100 level, give. Okay? You get access to the Solutionary 9. You get workout routines, meal plans, macros. We do your macros for you. Shooting drills, all of that other good stuff. Okay? You get access to all of the classes. The Solutionary 9. There's folks that Solutionaries in this chat right now. I'm telling you, as somebody that does the Solutionary 9, as somebody that is, active, I feel so much better when I got a workout routine. My day is more organized. I have more control over my life. I feel happier. Like if I don't hit that routine, if I don't find those things, those challenges daily to get to that energy, to raise my blood, like my oxidation levels, my vibration and all of that, I just feel much better. If you want to lose weight, if you want to shoot better, if you want to have these conversations, chop it up with dope people, if you want to do those things, join the Solutionary 9. The 2 for 1 is 3 for 1. You donate, you're helping us keep our work going at the $100 level. That's 1. You're helping other people to learn. That's paying it forward, right? 2, you get something for it. You get this lifetime membership with, I'm telling you, you can ask people in our private group, you can just ask a question. Yo, what's how many miles away from the earth is the sun? And like 4 people going to give you an answer. It's 93 million miles. And they're going to tell you all of this other shit. I'm telling y'all. And it's not me in there like telling people what to say. Sometimes I'll be running around and the team just be in there like, yo, watch out for that. Yo, do this. Yo, I saw this. Blah, 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 blah. That's what community and these social networks are actually about. Okay? But you get all of that, right? And on top of the third thing is, you start to feel better, man. I'm just telling you, I've been a person that was super skinny. I've been a person that didn't go to the gym. I've been a person that goes to the gym. I've been a person whose life was not organized, that was not chasing his purpose, that was not communicating with things that really improved me. And I'm not saying this to sell y'all. I'm just telling y'all this feeling is something that I want everybody to have. What I want for myself, I want for my brother or my sister. So you get 3 things from that. So if you can donate at the $100 level, please do so. GiveSendGo.com/Solutionary. If you're watching on X, which most of y'all are, even though most of y'all not reposting the thing, even though it's free, and I asked y'all to do it, the pinned post right above, that's where you can hit the link to donate at the $100 level. let's get 9 people, 9, Solutionary 9. Let's get 9 people to donate $100. That's $900, right? It's very important. And we are trying to buy this building and keep this thing going. I just would love getting a 3-for-1, being able to pay it forward for somebody else, you getting access to these things and you feeling better, you being happier, you having more control over your life. I just think it's a dope thing. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna ask everybody to do. And obviously, everybody share the space. Now, moving forward, here's how I want to wrap this up, guys. Your United States government, Corey, how much? So today's goal is $3,400. If we can get 9 people to donate $100, that's $900, and that'll be dope. And I'll do more lives and fundraising for the rest of the night, probably till like 10 or 11. So, if we get $900 from this one live, that's awesome. That's awesome. If 9 people go, all right, I'm in, right? That's help. Now look, there's 400 people and 80 people in here. Imagine if 400 people gave $100. This is, guys, I'm gonna go on a bit of a rant here real quick. Our community, our Second Amendment community, our whatever community, y'all know, most of y'all don't live in mansions in this live, right? We will complain about our community, but then we'll litter, right? We will talk about, our neighborhood looks so bad, but we won't like do a little bit of landscaping in front of our crib. And I'm saying we as a collective, not anybody in here individually, right? We can't be those people, man. We all in here are Liberty Second Amendment people, right? We can't complain about Biden, complain about David Hogg, complain about Kamala Harris, complain about the Office of Gun Violence Prevention. They are well funded. They are well organized. What we got to do better at is going, I've elected these people like Maj to do certain work. I'm going to support them. I'm going to just keep it real with y'all. We definitely got to get better at that. And this is why some of the struggles that we having right now. And it's just, I would hate that we don't hit this number. I'm going to put it out there that we're going to hit this number. I'm going to put that out there. We're going to get the number. We're going to buy the building. We're going to keep it going. Would my life be less stressful if I wasn't fundraising and doing this work? Yeah, because I would just focus on money for me, sales, right? And if I don't do this work, I'm definitely going to make $1 million in the next 18 months. It's not even a question. If I'm just focusing on free market enterprise, I'm definitely going to get $1 million in 18 months. That's not a question. But I really like doing this work. I really enjoy it. And the sacrifices have to be proportionate. So meaning like the sacrifices that are made for our community, they have to, if I'm spending time away from my family, I got to know that the people want it. And so saying this to say, we cannot be the people that recognize things like this that go, the government doesn't fucking care about us. You think that doesn't extend to law enforcement? They don't have a lawful or moral obligation to protect you if somebody come rob your house. You know what I'm saying? It's what it is. They don't have the moral or legal obligation to protect you. So you think that we get stronger and safer communities by not informing more people about guns and safety and safe handling and responsible nature, and we're gonna leave it up to them, the government, to teach our people how to be safe and responsible gun owners? Fuck no. Last night there was a fucking shooting in Philly. Some of y'all seen it on social media. It was on 27th Street. It's 2 blocks up the street from the Solutionary Center. 2 blocks. They shooting right across each other over people's heads and shit. Dumb shit. The police don't change that in our communities. We do. And I mean our communities, Black, white, Asian, Spanish. I don't give a fuck, okay? So I'm going to ask everybody, just donate. Bobby just said it's 60. If you add up all the lives and the benefit at all ever, throw up $10. Just toss up 10. Look, it's 467 of y'all watching on X right now. If 467 people donated $10, y'all could do the math. That would get our goal for today. And so I also hate doing a hard sell. I don't want y'all to feel like it's all about money. However, when we get to a certain point where we got to push, money's important. So anyway, we have to make sure that we are looking at scenarios like this and going, Our federal government that we voted for, most of you are right of center in here, so I'm assuming some of you voted for Trump. You don't have to say it if you don't want to, right? You are disappointed. You feel let down. You were betrayed. They just told you the biggest you can't make America great and not bring human traffickers that sleep with fucking underage girls to justice. It's not, it's the opposite. It's the antithesis. Okay? You saying make America great, but we got a black male client list, but no, we don't. You were betrayed. And I feel that same way too, as a libertarian, because he ain't a libertarian. And I threw down with him. Okay? I thought it would be better. And instead of just being angry and upset about that, we need to make sure that we're strengthening ourselves and getting behind the people, businesses, organizations, community workers that are trying to fix this from the ground up. They are not interested in fixing it. I gave y'all the example of Cassie. They hold on to the data. We don't give a fuck about that. We'll put it out to shape public opinion on Diddy, but we're not doing a domestic. We're trying to get him for a RICO. We need to go into his house and get his tapes. That's what it's about. It ain't about justice. We have to shape that justice as the American people. So in closing, guys, I'm going to ask you all to support the work. If you're watching on X, it's my pinned post. Don't do it later. Don't say you're going to do it late. You're going to forget. Your phone going to ring. That TV show. There's a new episode of Rick and Morty. You're going to want to watch that. If you're going to support, if everybody in here pitches in $10, we can get a whole lot done. We can get a whole lot done. A whole lot. And we need your help. We 1,000% need your help. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. I want you all to share this all over the place. If you're watching on X and you didn't repost it yet, after this is wrapped up, please repost it with a quote post and a donor link. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. If you guys got any questions, shoot me a DM, an email right now after this. If you want to get a link to join the Solutionary 9, I'll send you the link. If you want to donate to get the link, every donor over $100, do so. Share it all over, share the space all over the place. I appreciate you all for tapping in. I will see you all tomorrow on the same Maj time at the same Maj channel. Be safe, be solutionary.